What's up creators? I'm Jason or DustMage1337 and today I'm going to show you how to get started making stuff using the new Server Authority API. To learn more about how it works under the hood, check out our How Server Authority Works video where we go deep into the technical details. Today we're going to make something cool so you can learn how to use it. I'm going to make a little jetpack game in Studio, so let's open up the city template. Step 1, let's enable Server Authority. Click on Workspace, scroll down until you find Authority Mode, and change it to Server. When you enable Server Authority, we auto-enable these other features like streaming and next-gen replication, because we built the Server Authority tech on the latest and greatest features in the Roblox engine. With just that one toggle, everything in the game is now owned by the server. Character motion is fully secure, speed and fly hacks are impossible, and physics interactions are much more fluid and responsive. Alright, let's get started scripting this jetpack. In Server Authority, your core game needs to run on both client and server. That's so you get the instant feedback on the client and the correctness from the server. Let's do this by making a module script that's loaded on both client and server. So I make a module script, I add this start function, and then I load it on the server with this little tiny loader script that just calls start on the parent module script. Then I just duplicate this and change it to run context client. So now our start function is going to be called on both client and server. Now with Server Authority, you have to use this new run service bind to simulation signal. This new signal is how the client is able to synchronize itself when it receives data from the server. So we link this simulate method to run service bind to simulation. Now inside bind to simulation, you can read from input actions that are under each player, interact with the physics world, and use attributes on predicted instances to read and write custom data. Attributes and physics properties are the only things that are rolled back when the client needs to correct its simulation to match the server. So for the jetpack, I'm going to apply a force to the humanoid root part if the player is holding the jump input action and they have fuel stored in an attribute on their humanoid root part. So I start by just getting the humanoid root part for all players. Now you can use this get prediction status to see if you should not simulate this character. Now by default in Roblox, the other player avatars are not predicted, so you don't need to process their jetpack. You can change this by using run service set prediction mode. Okay, now we're just getting the input action that's under each player. Normally in Roblox, input actions are only the local player input, but with Server Authority on, input actions that are under a player node are replicated from the client to the server. This allows the server to process each player's inputs. Okay, now we have the humanoid root parts and the jump input action, so we have everything we need to make our jetpack game. So we're going to get the jetpack fuel out of an attribute on the humanoid root part. The humanoid root part is default predicted, so it's a great place to store custom generic data. But you might want to store data on your own custom instances using attributes. So if they're holding the jump button and they have fuel, and they're not moving up too fast, I'm going to apply velocity to their humanoid root parts. Maybe about 6, 7. Now all I need to do is subtract the fuel. Maybe times 33 here. Oh, I don't need times 1. All right, that should be good. Default to 100 fuel. You run out of jetpack fuel in about 3 seconds. Now I just need to store the jetpack fuel on the humanoid, and I'm going to test it out. Oh, yep, I can float around. I'm holding space. I should run out of fuel. There we go. Cool. Feels great. All right, let's add a little GUI node so I can see my jetpack fuel. So I set up a text box here with like rounded corners and a nice font. So now I'm just going to add a local script that uses render step to update the text label using that jetpack fuel that I stored on the local humanoid root part. And perfect, the autocomplete actually nailed it this time. Great, cool. Fuel looks good, ticks down to 0, fall to the ground, sweet. Okay, let's add a coin that allows you to get more fuel. So I'm gonna copy paste the coin from the platformer template. All right, I made this script that plays a particle effect when the isPickedUp attribute changes. So I just store wasPickedUp and check to see if that's different from the current isPickedUp attribute and play a particle effect if it's been picked up. Cool, so all I have to do is write is picked up to a coin, and it'll play a particle effect and be marked that it's picked up. So to do this, I'm going to use the touched callback on each player's humanoid root part. And I'm going to set this up in my module.start method, which will make sure that it's set up on both client and server. So I link this module player added method to the player added signal. Okay, now I just need the character and the humanoid root parts. Okay, now I can connect to the humanoid root part touched callback, and this will give me any part that the character has touched, and it's going to run on both client and server. So I'm just going to check to see if they're named coin, and I'm going to consider that a coin. Okay, I'm going to print something out here with the time function so we can see that everything's perfectly synced between client and server. Now the time function is synchronized in Server Authority, and that's kind of the magic of the Server Authority API. So we're going to see if this coin's already been picked up, and if it hasn't been picked up, we're going to write the isPickedUp attribute to true. And we'll give ourselves some jetpack fuel. And we can just use the jetpack fuel attribute on the humanoid root part to do that. Again, remember, only attributes on predicted instances are fully synchronized. Random local Lua variables are not synced at all. Now, it's an exercise to the reader, but you can actually use meta tables in Lua to make this code look really clean. Okay, sweet. I collected the coin and I got my fuel. The touch callback has the exact same time in the logs. That's how we know everything's perfectly synced. Let's add a bunch more coins here and see what it's like. So the client gets the instant feedback when you collect the coin, but the server actually processes it and gives you the real results. So players can't hack the coins and give themselves more fuel. Sweet. Nice. Okay, I'm already imagining how cool I can make this game. All right, this game's coming together. I'm gonna keep iterating on it. This is supposed to be just an overview of how you can use the Server Authority API to make stuff. If you guys like this tutorial and you wanna see more, let us know what kind of tutorials you wanna see in the comments. Keep building.